We talk to our devices all the time, right? But what if they could actually understand how we're feeling? I'm not just talking about the words we say, but the real emotion behind them. We're on the verge of this massive transformation in voice AI, something that goes way beyond just hearing our commands to actually hearing our feelings. Oh man, we have all been there, right? Shouting at a smart speaker, or that navigation system in your car, or some automated phone menu. It's that feeling of just not being understood. And it's such a universal frustration because, let's face it, today's voice assistants are pretty much emotionally deaf. They might get the words, sure, but they completely miss the tone.
So that leads to this huge question that's driving a whole new wave of innovation. What happens when technology can actually sense your frustration, or pick up on your confusion, or even share in your excitement? And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is the exact problem a brand new kind of AI is being built to solve right now.
Okay, so here's the core problem. For all the amazing advances we've seen, the AI we talk to every single day, well, it operates on pure logic, not emotion. And that's exactly why those interactions can feel so robotic and, honestly, just unsatisfying. And that's where a company called Hume AI comes in. This was founded by a top emotion scientist from Google, and their whole mission is just fundamentally different. See, they're not just trying to build an AI that completes tasks. Nope, they're building it for human well-being. And they believe the absolute key to all of this is emotion. So the big question is, how in the world does a machine learn to hear feelings? Let's dive in and break down how this new kind of AI moves way beyond just simple word recognition. Well, the core concept here is something called empathic AI. And really, the name kind of says it all. It's artificial intelligence that's specifically designed to understand the emotional layer of our voice and, this is the crucial part, respond in an emotionally intelligent way. The whole goal is to have a natural, two-way conversation.
But here's the thing. The real breakthrough here isn't just about detecting basic stuff like happy or sad. No way. It's about understanding the incredible nuance and the complexity of how we actually feel.
And this is where we see a really fundamental shift in the whole approach. The old way of doing AI, it tried to shove emotions into these simple little boxes, happy, sad, angry. But that's just not how people work, right? Hume AI, on the other hand, uses what's called a dimensional model. It measures feelings on spectrums, from positive to negative or from energetic to calm. This just paints a much, much richer and more accurate picture of our real emotional state. So this whole dimensional approach, it unlocks something called emotional granularity. And what that means is, it's the difference between just knowing someone is, quote, happy, and actually understanding if that's the quiet joy of contentment or, that explosive feeling of triumph. It can tell the difference between the nervous energy of anxiety and the sharp edge of frustration. And that level of detail, it is a total game changer. So how does it actually do this? Well, it listens to something called prosody. The easiest way to think about it is, it's the music behind your words. It's not what you say, it's all about how you say it. The rise and fall of your pitch, your rhythm, the little pauses you take, that's where the real emotional data is hiding. And this AI is being trained not just to understand that music, but to play it back in its own responses. Okay, so this tech is absolutely fascinating, but what does it actually mean for us, in our day-to-day lives? Let's take a look at some of the real-world applications that could seriously change everything. Just imagine this. You call a help desk, and the AI on the other end literally hears the frustration in your voice. So instead of just sticking to the script, it adapts. It might say, I can tell you're frustrated, let me get you to a human right away. Or think about an AI tutor that senses a student is getting confused and can say, hey, I know this part is tricky, but you're doing great, let's try it another way. Even in video games, imagine game characters that could react in real time to your actual excitement or fear. It would create a world that's just incredibly immersive. So yeah, the potential impact here is huge. Customer service is obviously the biggest immediate area, and that makes perfect sense. But look at this. Notice the huge focus on mental wellness and education. These are fields where empathy is absolutely critical. So this tech, it isn't just some gimmick. It's being aimed at sectors where emotional understanding can make a really profound difference. And here is the kicker, the really crucial point. This all happens in real time. We're talking about the AI analyzing your voice and generating an emotionally appropriate response in less than 500 milliseconds. To put that in perspective, that is often faster than a human can even react.
And that is the key to making these conversations feel natural and fluid, not all laggy and robotic. Okay, so an AI that can understand our deepest feelings, that is an incredibly powerful tool. And with any powerful tool, we have to stop and ask some very, very serious questions about the ethics. And this brings us right to what we're calling the empathy dilemma. And the debate here is it's so stark. On one hand, the promise is absolutely enormous. Think about it. Accessible 24/7 mental wellness support for anyone who needs it. But the peril is just as great. The very same technology could be used for incredibly sophisticated emotional manipulation, whether that's in advertising or even politics. It is a true double-edged sword. This technology, it forces us to confront a concept that, honestly, we've never really had to define before: emotional privacy. Do you have a right to keep how you feel private from a machine? Should a company be able to analyze your emotional state without you explicitly saying yes? This is a brand new, uncharted ethical frontier.
And these aren't just abstract ideas. These are the critical questions we have to start asking. Like, right now, could the frustration in your voice on a customer service call end up affecting your credit score down the line? Could an AI be used to detect unhappiness or dissent in a workforce? And maybe the biggest one, when an AI tells you it understands, is that authentic support, or is it just incredibly sophisticated deceptive programming?
Now, for their part, the creators are very aware of these risks. Hume AI says its core principle is to keep this technology aligned with human well-being. But actually ensuring that alignment, especially as this tech becomes more and more widespread, well, that is going to be one of the great challenges of the next decade, for sure. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important thought here. The really big question isn't just about how we're changing our machines, it's about how these emotionally aware machines will in turn change us. When our technology starts offering empathy, how does that reshape our relationships, our expectations, and maybe even our own understanding of what it means to feel?